here, but she hasn't rang the doorbell. Oh, there she is. 10 out of 10.
Hey guys, welcome back to Maxyy's kitchen. My name is Maxyyy. If this is your first time joining me here, I'm super grateful to have you here. I'm so glad you're here watching my vlog. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, I'm super glad to have you back as well. Thank you for coming back and thank you for always watching my videos. Now, if you're a returning viewer and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you genuinely enjoy the content, why not subscribe, okay? So I'm reminding you, if you're not sure, please check and then hit the subscribe button. So in today's vlog, we're going to be making waakye. So today is Friday actually. It is 3:44 at the moment. So I am making waakye for my friends tomorrow. So it's like a waakye party. To be honest, I haven't really planned it, but I just invited my friend Tanishka and my friend Brittany. So they are going to come and then we're going to have waakye. So that's basically it. And I just want to cook everything, show you how I make my waakye stew, fry my fish, you know, all of those things. That's what this vlog is going to be about. Now, I'm really excited about Tanishka coming because I've actually never invited her over. Not because I've never wanted to. There's just never been an opportunity to invite her over to like come for food or anything. So I'm really excited she's coming. She's been complaining, like she's always telling me I never call her, da da da. So finally she's coming and I'm excited about that. Brittany is coming with her two siblings as well, Paul and Pearl. I'm sure you guys know them. They were in the M&M's vlog. So they're coming as well because they are on a break from school. And Megan is actually coming in today as well, and those are her friends, so she's going to be very excited. We're trying to plan a whole surprise thing by not telling them that Megan was coming, but they just communicated and found out that they were all going to be here, so yeah. But I'm really excited about tomorrow. I'm going to step out now to buy the fish and I'm going to buy all the ingredients that we need to make the stew. So as usual, I've created my list already and it's on my phone. I'm going to take it along with me, get all the groceries. Tomorrow, Mag and Meg, early in the morning, are going to go to M&S and get a couple of other things that we need to get from there. But yeah, I'm making the stew tonight. So the stew is a long process. I need to make sure that the stew fries very well, and to cook the cow foot that I'm going to put in the stew, it takes like 2 hours or like an hour plus to cook the cow food that I use for the stew. So it would just be best to do it today, and then tomorrow morning when I wake up, I just have to cook the waakye, which isn't a lot of work, to be honest. And then do like the gari. I'm also going to season the fish we're going to fry tomorrow today. And yeah, I'm really excited to vlog this particular one actually, because I know that a lot of people in Ghana aren't able to try my recipes as often because they always say that there's some ingredients that they can't find in Ghana, which is actually true. But for this one, almost everything actually that I'm going to be using, you guys can get in Ghana. I mean, waakye is a Ghanaian dish. So yeah, come with me. Let's go to town and get all the groceries that we need. So actually guys, I have taken the wile out. So wile is cow skin and Nigerians call wile pomo. So I've taken it out. I have two types here actually. This one this one I bought from the grocery store that I'm going to right now a couple of months ago, but I just never used it. This one has like more, I don't know, but it's just different. See this one, which is the one that I actually got in Ghana. I'm not going to be using all, obviously. I'm going to use all of this because it's just been in the freezer for too long, and I would use just a tiny bit of this, like less than a quarter of everything that is in here. I've just taken them out to defrost, and yeah. So my very first stop was this parsonnerie that I always go to. I stopped there to get the fish. I think I got grey mullet fish. And then I went to the Chinese takeout store opposite to get dinner. And then I went to the butchery, this halal butchery, to get all the meats that I needed. They didn't have tripe, so I went to another butchery to actually get tripe. So I found some in another place. But in this first grocery store, I bought the beans and everything else there. Then I headed back home. Megan came in like 30 minutes after I arrived. She was very tired, as you guys can tell. I was just disturbing her as usual. That's a star girl.
Star girl.
Say hello to the vlog.
Hi guys. Just arrived in London.
Period. Megan is having Chinese as well. Today we didn't cook. Hey guys. So it's like 8 p.m. right now, and I want to start making the stew. Mark is here, Megan is here as well. They're actually watching Love is Blind. Love is Blind. Yeah, Love is Blind. So they're in the hall, and I'm going to go to the kitchen and just start cooking. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of ASMR because they're watching like something on the TV, so I wouldn't want the sound to interrupt a lot. But as usual, I'm going to give you guys a detailed recipe. Yeah, it's going to take me about like 2 to 3 hours to make this stew, so let's just get started now. Let's go. Guys, first of all, let me correct that it didn't take me 2 or 3 hours to make this stew. It took me about 5 hours, and I ended up going to bed at like 5:30 a.m. or like 5 a.m. let me say. So yeah. So I started with my mise en place. I spoke about mise en place in my Chinese takeout vlog. So it means prepping or gathering. So it's just like prepping all the ingredients that I'm going to be using for the stew. And I'm just going to work on my vegetables, work on the meat, wash the meat and all of that. And today I actually decided to wear my apron. I hardly wear it now, but doesn't it look so cute? Anyways. Okay, so you're probably wondering what I was doing up there. I was just getting a bottle of shito that we were going to use the next day. And I was also trying to get the pot that I was going to use for the stew. so I keep that pot. I was also doing a little dance. I use that pot to make the stew because it's really big, has a large surface area, which I really like because it helps the stew to actually fry. So yeah, once I got that, I was off the seat, sorry. But yeah, that space is right above my fridge.
And me, I understand, so your dad know like me, see me, I want make you know, say me there for you, cara. And if not the price be that, I feel like to see ya. I never tried it for nothing.
Guys, I can confidently say that we've watched meat more than 5 times on this channel, okay? If you are new here, I'm so sorry I didn't take you through the entire process, but what I always use is lemon juice or lime juice and baking soda, okay? I let my meat soak for a while and then I wash it off, rinse it off with running water from the tap. That's all I do. Guys, do you remember the willy I showed you at the start, right? The tough one that I got from the grocery store. I just packed it back into the Ziploc and put it in the freezer, guys. It was so hard to just work on this thing and I really didn't have the energy, so I just used the ones I got from Ghana and I packed the rest in the freezer. I'll deal with that some other time. I just knew I was going to spend a lot of time making the stew and I wasn't prepared to, spend like 30 to 45 minutes working on willy or cow skin, like, please. So I finished up the meat and I cleaned the area. Now it's always important to clean your surroundings after you wash meat, okay, just so that the bacteria doesn't spread. And to be honest, that's the only reason why they always say that don't wash your meat, don't wash your chicken. It's because the likelihood of you spreading bacteria is very high. So just eliminate that, clean your surroundings after that very well, okay? So I finished up with my vegetables as well. I'm just going to wash it, rinse it very well, and then I am going to slice, chop, and do all of that.
Mr. Way used to hold me at night. Yeah, I'll admit it that I miss you. God, why do I miss you? When you never treated me right. Still I miss you. Boy, why do I miss you? Mr. Way used to hold me at night. Yeah, I'll admit it.
Okay, so now that our mise en place is done, we're going to get started with the stew and we're going to start with steaming the meat actually. Don't forget to take a screenshot of the ingredients for steaming the meat. Let's go. So I'm going to add my onions, garlic, ginger, and cloves to the blender, and then I'm going to add a bit of water to help with the blending.
All these memories since we were 17. Somehow your ghost is still haunting me. Wish that we never met in January when you're still up.
I'm going to blend until it's really smooth, and I'm going to share this blended mixture between the 2 pots. One of the pots has willy and cow feet. In that pot, I'm going to let the meat in that pot cook for more than an hour because I want it really soft, okay? And then the other pot has the tripe and the beef. That one wouldn't cook as long as the cow feet pot would cook.
Even when we're broken too, I'll admit that I miss you.
Even though we've rinsed the blender cup with water, we're going to add a little bit more water to the cow feet pot because it needs a lot of water to soften the meat, okay? So even while cooking that, after like every 30 minutes, let's say, when the water is reduced and I add extra water, I always want the cow feet to be soaked in the water, okay? And that's how I get it to soften up. So I'm just seasoning I'm just spicing my meat with the same spices actually: shrimp powder, all-purpose badia seasoning, salt. I didn't use mixed herbs because I know a couple of people would say they can't find mixed herbs, so no mixed herbs at all in this recipe. Just salt, complete seasoning by badia, and shrimp powder. Okay, apart from the natural spices that I used earlier on. So I'm just going to mix that very carefully, and then I'm going to let them start boiling. Okay, so it's time to make the marinade for the fried fish we're gonna have with the waakye. Don't forget to take the screenshots of the ingredients. Let's go. So I'm using ginger, garlic, green peppers, and some red peppers. I'm not going to use any onion at all, and I'm going to use a mix of cloves, anise seeds, and peppercorns, and then salt. I'm using like rock salt, Himalayan salt, just to make things rough so that the blending can be done easily. Now this is called asanka, this dish that I'm mashing everything in. I just wanted to do it this way because I know a lot of Ghanaians have this in their homes, and yeah, it just makes everything fresher. So I don't know what I was thinking doing this on the counter. It's much easier when you do it this way. Okay, so I grinded it very well until I got a really nice paste. It wasn't completely smooth, but I loved how it turned out. After the grinding is done, I'm going to add in some shrimp powder and some herring powder. So this is going to act as my fish powder. This is the fish powder that I use. You can use half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. About a teaspoon of shrimp powder. We already have salt in there, so I didn't add any more of that. I'm going to give it a good mix, and this is going to be the marinade for the fish. This marinade was packed with so much flavor. It's made out of natural spices, which I really love. So I washed my fish and patted the fish pieces dry, and then I put my marinade in this dish that had the fish, and then I just massaged the marinade into the fish very well. Now, if you don't have an earthenware bowl, which is actually the English name for asanka, which is the dish that I grinded all the spices in, feel free to do this in a blender or a chopper, like the Ninja chopper that I have. You might just need a bit of oil to help with the blending. You don't have to use too much, just a little bit to help with the blending, but don't use water. I like that I could use the earthenware bowl because I didn't have to use oil, so that's a plus for me. Anyways, after massaging everything in very well, you just want to cover it with cling film. You're going to put it in the fridge, so it's going to marinate overnight, and the next morning it'll be ready to fry. Okay, so this was the first time that I had to pour in extra water into the pot of cow feet that we were cooking. So I'm just going to add more water still. This isn't enough. Now, one thing I like about my waakye stew is that I make sure that all the meat that I use is completely soft, that you wouldn't have to keep chewing before the meat, tears up. I really don't like that thing. So you can literally eat the meat in my waakye stew with like a fork and knife because I make it so soft. So I take my time. Even if this was going to take 2 hours, I was willing to wait. Did you see the amount of water that I put in? Now that's going to dilute the salt and all the seasonings that we use, but as it gets thicker, okay, as it boils down, the flavors get concentrated, so don't worry about that. Okay, so I just checked on the tribe and the beef as well. It needed a little bit more water, so I added that. And I decided to blend everything that we'll be using for the stew as well. Don't forget to take a screenshot of the stew ingredients. This is the ingredient list, okay? Let's go. So I'm blending onions, garlic, ginger, and scotch bonnet peppers. I used about 3 or 4 scotch bonnet peppers, but if that's too much for you, please don't add 3 or 4. You can use 1 or 2, okay? Just make sure that you're not using any less onions than what I have used, because that's one of the secrets to making really good waakye stew. At least for me, that's what I do, and it works really well for me. Now the onions bring some kind of sweetness that I really like, so make sure you're using this much onions, okay? It's all going to be in the recipe, just follow it. So I'm going to blend this until it's smooth, and we're going to take it from there. Now I'm sure you guys can tell, but beside the blender, you guys can see my onions, my sliced onions. I cut about 2 full onions for that as well. Okay, we're really going in with the onions for this recipe, so yes. So I'm going to be using the same pot that the tripe and the beef is in to actually start my stew, and since that wasn't ready, I decided to wash all the dishes that I had in the sink. You guys know that I love to wash and clean my kitchen as I go. Okay, I cannot cook in a messy kitchen, so this was me just washing the dishes and just waiting for the beef and tripe to cook. Just in case you guys didn't know, we hardly use the dishwasher. I think we've only used it twice, but we use it as a dish drying rack. So yeah. So I'm just checking up on the meat now, and I think the beef and tripe were done at this point. So I just took them out of the pot and then put them into the bowl that is actually next to the pot. And I saved up all the stock because I used the stock for the stew, okay? That gives the stew so much flavor, so you don't want to get rid of the stock.
I'm a new bitch now, I'm on my new shit, wow. It's like I never even met you at all. Bet you regret this now that I'm on my way out. And you can try, but I'm ignoring your calls. I bet you didn't think I'd be good on my own. So here with me.
Guys, so actually after I poured the stock into a bowl, I roasted some of my spices. So anise seed, star anise, peppercorns, and cloves. Okay, so I roasted them in the pan until they became very fragrant, and then I transferred the spices into this grinder and then I blended it. Now I realized that this gives the stew so much flavor. Okay, it's a game changer, trust me. So I saved this. I'm going to add it to the stew later, but I just wanted to do it before I started making the stew in this pot. Okay, so I put some oil in the pot. I used about 1.5 cups of oil. That still wasn't enough because I was making a lot of stew, and for this stew the tomatoes and everything needs to fry very well, so you need a lot of oil to make this stew. Now I fried the beef in the oil, but I didn't fry the tripe. Okay, you don't want to fry the tripe, you only want to fry the beef. Take it out and then put it back into the bowl and then set that aside. So you guys can see the oil now. So I just put all of the sliced onions into the oil after I took the fried beef out, and then I added in the bay leaves and some papushito, which is like the green petit bell peppers, or petit bell peppers, or green scotch bonnets that I spoke about in the ingredient list. You want to crack about 3 of them and add it in, and then fry the onions until they've softened up a bit. Okay, so bay leaves, green peppers, and then onions. Once that has fried for a good like 5 to, let's say, 8 minutes actually, because we used a lot of onions, you want to add in your tomato paste, and that's what I'm doing right now. Okay guys, I know that this might seem like a lot of tomato paste, but I'm making a really huge pot of stew and we need this much. Okay, so just follow the recipe and you'll be fine. This is so random, but Brittany, Edumia boy, if you're watching, I know you want to complain about how I've tied my apron at the front. Guys, I know we always tie it at the back. I just prefer it this way. You guys always see that I do it this way. That's even if you've seen me in an apron before, but please, no one should comment about that. I like it this way. Okay, so I'm sure you guys noticed that I added a bit more oil to the tomato paste, and that's like 12 minutes after I had put the onion and ginger garlic mix into the pan, and it was doing well. It was frying pretty nicely. So it wasn't quite done yet though. So I just still covered it, and just gave it extra time because I really wanted it to fry, okay, before I added the tomatoes. After I covered it, I came back after like 8 minutes, let's say, and it looked well fried to me. So I added in my 2 cans of tomatoes. I'm going to assume that each tin was like 400 grams, so roughly about 800 grams of chopped tomatoes. You can use pureed tomatoes as well. You can use the smooth version, which is like the pureed version. I just had this, so I used this. I didn't have chunks of tomatoes in my stew, by the way. Everything just got melted away once the stew was done. If you're using raw tomatoes, you can just use a good amount, okay, guys? You can just chop them and blend them. It would work very well, okay? It's even better in a way because it's not like processed, if you get what I mean. So, yes. So, once you add that, you just want to give it a really good mix and cover it and just let it cook. The thing is that I added my stocking at this point because I really wanted to get the thing going quickly so I could go to bed. But what I would advise is that do everything one step at a time. So try not to add two things at the same time, like you're adding the tomatoes and then you're adding the stock at the same time. That's not how I actually really like to cook. I would have preferred to add the tomatoes and then let that cook for a while and then come back to add in the stock. But I already explained why I did this, okay? So assuming you've added the tomatoes, you've made that cook, and then after a while you've added your stock, made that cook for a while, you would want to come back and add the blended spices, okay, that we toasted and then blended, okay. You want to add all of it in and give it a really good stir. At this point, your stew should be frying and not boiling, if you get what I mean. We're not making soup, we're making stew that is supposed to be fried, okay. So there should be enough oil in the stew to help with that process, okay. If you don't have enough oil, please make sure you add. Don't be scared, it's going to be fine. And for seasoning, I use shrimp powder, complete seasoning, and salt. Those are the only seasonings that I use apart from the toasted spices, okay. If you don't want to use shrimp powder, you can use cubes, seasoning cubes. I don't use seasoning cubes in my cooking. I'm sure you guys know by now. I like using shrimp powder because it's so natural and it does the same job, to be honest. It doesn't have any preservatives or anything of that sort in it. But yeah, do you guys, as usual, season to your taste as well. I didn't give specific measurements for that. And once you've cooked that for a while, you want to add your tribe and your fried beef. And oh, by the way, the cow foot is done. You guys will see it in a bit, but I had already turned the heat off for that. It was really, really soft, just the way I wanted it. It took about an hour and 30 minutes to cook, and I think it was worth it. Guys, so I came back in about like 8 minutes or so, and it was time to add the cow feet to the stew. And guys, I don't know if you can tell, but it looks really soft. Look at that, guys. It was so soft. I added all of it, and the wule or pomo or cow skin, I added everything to the stew. I tried as much as possible to avoid the bones because they were so soft. Some of them were already falling off the bone, so I didn't add the bones, if you get what I mean. After I added it in, I added in some peppers as well to give the stew a really nice flavor. Some of these green chilies, okay, so I added in some green chilies, and then I carefully mixed everything together. Now, I didn't want to, rip the pomo, even the ones from the cow feet, sorry. I didn't want to rip that one apart as well because it was so soft. Okay, I give it a good stir. And I just made it cook for like an extra 10 minutes on low heat, just so that everything could come together nicely. The taste was there. I tasted it. It was great. It was well fried. I just needed it to do a bit more frying, And then, yeah, I just turned it off after that. And I used a clean tea towel or multi-purpose cloth that I was using in the kitchen to wipe the top of the pot. And then I also washed the lid very well in the sink, and then I covered it after it cooled down. I didn't cover it fully, but halfway, because I was done and I wasn't going to put this in the fridge. We're going to eat it the next day, so I just kept it on the stove. Yeah, and then I also took all the stuff needed to make my waakye out, arranged them nicely, and I was just cleaning the kitchen. Okay, this was around 4 a.m. I was just cleaning the kitchen. I mopped, I swept, I cleaned the surfaces, just in preparation for the next day. I mean, like later in the day. Yeah. I hope you guys try this recipe. It was so good. And I had this stew with the rice. And oh my goodness. You guys need to try it, okay? You guys definitely need to try it. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow when we make the waakye when my friends come over. Bye. Hello guys, good morning. It is 10:45 a.m. And I'm just about to start making the waakye. I slept at I finished everything at 4 a.m. Today. I finished everything at 4 a.m. today. So I just went to shower and I slept at 5. Yeah, I am going to start making the waakye today. While the waakye is cooking, I'm also going to fry the fish that we're going to use to have the waakye. But I'm just very happy that we got most of the things done. Brittany is coming over at like 1 to make desserts for us. So she's making apple crumble. Brittany makes a really good apple crumble. And yeah, I'm really excited about today. It's going to be fun for sure. I have a detailed recipe video for waakye. So if you think this one that I'm about to do isn't that detailed, you can always refer to that video. I'm going to leave it at the end of this video or in the description box, okay?
Okay, Waakye, let's get started. I'm not giving an ingredient list for this. I'm just going to talk you through it. I have a detailed recipe. I'll leave that at the end and in the description box below. Like I said earlier on, if you want to learn how to make the kind of waakye that I make, please go and watch it. Thank you. So first thing is that I'm going to be using black-eyed beans. I use black-eyed beans for my waakye, or black-eyed peas. So I am going to wash about like 500 grams, let's say, of black-eyed beans or peas, and I'm just going to transfer that into a pot actually, and I'm just going to add some water to that, and also some sorghum leaves. Now these are the leaves that actually give waakye that brown or burgundy color, let me see. So I've just taken about 5 of them, should be enough. I've rinsed them very well, washed them actually with water, and then I'm just going to add that to the pot, add enough water to boil the beans, and I'm just going to put it on high heat just so that the beans can cook really quickly, okay? That's what I do. So yeah, I know that a lot of people soak their beans the night before, and just to speed up the process. That's what they say, but I've just never tried it. I've just never made it that way. This is how I do it all the time, and it just works for me. The beans is going to cook in like, let's say 40 minutes maximum. So we're also going to fry the fish. Oh guys, you guys remember the fish we marinated the night before? We're going to fry it now. So I've taken it out of the fridge, put some plain flour in a plate, and then we're just going to lightly coat each fish with the flour, and we're going to deep fry it in a pan that has heated oil in it. So you know, seafood fish, it doesn't take that long to fry. So we're going to fry each side for about, let's say, 8 to 10 minutes, I think. And that did the trick. Back to the waakye, when I realized that everything was boiling, that's when I actually put my baking soda in. Now, a lot of people use potash, but I've never used potash for my, I don't know if that's what it's called. I think so. I've never used it for my waakye or beans. I always use baking soda. It works just fine for me. So it enhances the color of the waakye. It makes the burgundy color shine more, and I think it also helps to speed up the cooking process of the beans, I think. So I added it in, and I just covered it so that the beans could continue to cook. And I also lined my colander or sieve, I don't know what that one is, with some kitchen towel just to prepare for the fish. You know, when the fish is done frying, I'm going to keep it there just so that I could soak up the excess oil. But everything is looking really nice right now, and yeah. Just look at how beautiful the fish is. So the fish was done frying, and it was time for me to add the rice because the beans were soft enough and they were ready to go. So I added a bit more water actually because there wasn't enough water, and then I added in my rice. I use Thai jasmine rice for my waakye. You can use any type of rice that you like. I think it should be fine. And I added in some salt as well, and I just gave that a really good mix. Some people like to add a teeny tiny bit of oil just to help the waakye, you know, become one in quotes, if you know what I mean. But I wasn't really going for that vibe, so I just kept it like this, and I just, you know, covered it for a while. And after like 5 minutes or like 8 minutes after I covered it, I came back and then put parchment paper on top, just to trap the steam, which is actually what is going to cook the rice. And that's literally all I had to do. Yeah, really simple. Like I said, I have a full recipe video on this, and I'm going to link it at the end and in the description box. So check it out if you really want to know how to make waakye in detail, okay? This was the first time that I gave the waakye a mix, or I decided to stir it after I covered it. So there was still so much water in the waakye and the rice was hard and everything, but I just wanted to turn it. And then after this, I put the parchment paper back and covered it to cook. You guys know our stepper. This girl wouldn't let me record in peace. She came stand there saying she was doing the video's new challenge for, is it unavailable also? But yeah, you know when Megan is always around, she has to dance. So let's go. Okay. Okay. All right. Come on. Please let me stop here before they will give me one copyright strike. I'm working hard on this anyways. So she was dancing, and then I decided to boil the eggs for the waakye shortly after I recorded her. I boiled about 6 eggs, so I was going to use some of the eggs for Brittany's salad. So the thing is that Brittany actually didn't have waakye. She wasn't eating carbs at the time, so I made a Cobb salad for her. So I used one of the eggs for that, and then the rest we had with the waakye, okay? After this, I just started putting everything else together. Like, I cut the plantains that we were going to fry to use to, like, either waakye, okay? Megan actually fried the plantains, and I actually didn't record that part. It was the very last thing that we did. But I remember that after the plantains, I also made the gari and the spaghetti for the waakye as well. Put onions in their salad for waakye, but I did that and it tasted absolutely delicious. Everyone loved it. So I grated just 1 carrot. Okay, so you don't want to use too much carrot. I thought I was going to use 2, but 1 was just enough.
We have a guest here. I'm back! Anyways, guys, Anushka is here. Brittany was supposed to come and make the apple crumble, but it's 4 and she's not here. We can't be sitting here and be waiting for her. So Sanushka and I are about to make the apple crumble. And yeah, I don't know when she's going to come, but we're waiting for her before we even eat, which is very unfair.
At this point, when Sanushka and I started making the apple crumble, I was telling her how much Brittany was annoying me because she was even supposed to come at like 12 p.m. and then make the apple crumble for all of us. Because remember I told you guys that she makes really good apple crumble, but we just decided to do it and we're just like rushing, to be honest. It tasted so good still, by the way, but this is something Brittany had to do, okay? So yeah, Brittany, if you're watching, I'm telling you that I was very mad at you again. So I have a very detailed apple crumble recipe in one of my vlogs. I'm going to link it at the end. So if you want to make some, you can use that recipe. Trust me, it's so good. I really enjoy that apple crumble. So Tanishka worked on the apple filling and I basically worked on the crust filling, which comprises of butter, sugar, flour, and a bit of spices like cinnamon and nutmeg.
I've never had anyone complete the words I say. You told me the one you're with can make you feel this way. If the shoe fits well, if there's no comparison, this is true love, I swear. And we need to.
Hey, it doesn't take 10 hours for them to come up. Right? So, Brittany just called me and then she told me that they're downstairs. But she hasn't rang the doorbell. Oh, there she is.
You see the thing about Brittany, you've arrived late. Not just late, but more than 4 hours late. And she still had the guts to come and beat me and tell me that me and free. So imagine. So it was time to eat. I set all the food up. Guys, I had to talk for like 10 minutes. I had to beg them to eat, literally. Like, guys, come and eat. Guys, come and eat. Guys, come and serve yourself. They were reminding me. Anyway, Tanishka was very hungry. So she said we should forget about them and just start eating. So Tanishka was the first person that was served. And then I served myself. And they still were reminding us. So we just left them and we just ate. And then later they came to dish their own meals themselves. You see the salad at the center of the table, not exactly at the center, but the one with the boiled egg, that's the cob salad that I made for Brittany. So yeah, she had that, and the rest of us had waakye, which was really, really good. Trust me, the waakye was so good, the stew was so flavorful, everything was just so nice, the vibes perfect.
Tonight.
went in for everything. She had wole, she had cow feet, she had fish, she had egg. You know, she went for everything. I was so happy that she actually wanted to have every single thing, and she loved it so much. Tanishka has eaten waakye so many times, but she really liked my waakye. Like, I was really looking forward to her feedback, and she gave really good feedback. So yeah, this was me just dancing a bit. I think I had eaten already by then, or maybe not, I don't know, but yeah. Look how Tanishka was smiling. She was happy. I was happy that she was happy with her food, and that was me dishing my food. Look at Brittany at the back there. She was annoying me this whole time, but we still sang together.
I'm just thinking about your eyes. Just don't know if I've been thinking or pretending, but I know I never.
So we're all enjoying this song close, and Tanishka wanted to go and change it. I wasn't understanding. I told her to come back. Anyways, guys, the vibes were so nice, and I actually missed this weekend so much. This particular day, like, the food was good, and all the people that came around just brought good vibes.
Tell me everything about you, go slow, so I can write it down and become the perfect man.
10 out of 10.
Somebody can let me feel. Take. Who is holding you? Take.
Hop into the cockpit, I can be a rocket. Fly. So what have you been sitting there and thinking all this time? What's your mindset? Been telling you to make you.
We're finally done with our waakye classy thing that Maxyyy has done for us. Let me show you. This is Pale just cleaning up the dishes.
Yeah.
Providing emotional support.
He's just here. This is our apple crumble, which we're supposed to eat.
Because it will take more stew, then you don't have
Just
Will you go?
yeah.
figuring this out.
They want to me, then they want to me. When you want me, when you want me. I'm in San Francisco, Jammy. When you want me, when you want me. I just flew in from Miami, Peru, para. I'm blue. Even Peru don't they para.
Be flying solo. Hop into the cockpit, I can be a rocket. Fly. So what have you been sitting there and thinking all this time?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys can tell that we had lots of fun. After we took pictures, I just told everyone to help me clear the place. And I told them that if we don't clear the place, no one is going to get apple crumble. So they were all doing something. Pearl did the dishes, Megan did the sweeping, and I mopped after though. But I was just clearing up stuff on the work surfaces, just cleaning everything, you know, doing all the main things. Brittany, on the other hand, was the supervisor. She didn't do anything but just dance, as you guys can see. Megan actually took several breaks. You can see the broom in her hand, but she was dancing with Brittany over here. But we still got that done, and then I served the apple crumble. Everyone just had a good time. So by this time, Tanishka had left, but the rest of us stayed, and then we played Ludo. Mark actually went to visit Minnie the entire day, so she came back and we played with her. And yeah, I'm not going to talk, just watch. But guys, just know that I won this game, okay? I won this game and the next game that we played after this one.
I will kick. Megan told me I'm honest. What's it called?
No. We have to
Home kick. Home kick and one. Home kick. So no.
Actually, why can't you be kind?
Home kick is fine. I don't need her. Okay, so how do we go? This way. Yeah. So I play. Okay.
That's so.
The low caption. Hey, she can see it. I can get it. Hey! Daddy Lumba, you're old guy.
I hope you guys understood that. Mark got Daddy Lumba, so she was blaming him for not winning. Anyways, we had such a good time, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I'll catch you in my next vlog. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, and bye.
I'm feeling strange already.